upon review, I think cooking an ultimate solo was a bad idea. My friends, hello, welcome YouTube. What you are now staring at before you is an ultimate legend. Yes, that is right. We defeated UWU. I have my weapons, my monk fists, which I actually didn't realize were this cool. I didn't know they were tigers, man. This is awesome. And even better news, guys, I got my sprout back. Because Dawn Trail launched, I actually got my sprout back. Let's go. I haven't begun Endwalker yet, so I'm still get to hold on to this bad boy. Amazing. Guys, we did it. For many of you who may have been following the UWU weekly recaps, of which there were only a few, I did maybe 4 recaps, I think, something like that. But then we really picked up the pace with the raiding. We actually started going from 1 day a week to 3 days a week for the last, like, 2 weeks. We started doing 3 or 4 days. And we actually got the kill of UWU on the day of Dawn Trail maintenance. Absurd. We had a couple hours left, and then servers were going down. And massive shout out to all my raiders for sacrificing their personal time, sacrificing their sanity, their health, all of that stuff in order for us to get an ultimate kill before Dawn Trail launch. I'll be honest, like, it's weird. It's like I'm still processing it. Like, I don't know. I solo cooked a blind ultimate. I haven't even played this game for a full year yet. And I played for 10 months. And I've solo cooked a blind ultimate. And I'm just like, wow. We got it on the buzzer of Dawn Trail. It feels amazing. I'm actually just processing it now. I'm in this moment processing this. You can tell this is unscripted. But I wanted to talk through a little bit of, like, the experience of what it's like to cook an ultimate blind. And what it was like doing my first ultimate. Coming, obviously, from, like, World of Warcraft. How does it compare? Maybe I'll make some comparisons there or something. But also, I want to include at the end maybe just some funny clips for you guys of across Prague. Like, there's just going to be some clips at the end for you guys to look through. If you do want to see the actual pure kill VOD, that is... I will link it in the description. I'll link it with the timestamp as well in the description. So if you're curious for that, look for it in the description or a comment, like a pinned comment. So yeah, like, talking through this. So I never would have thought that I would blind solo cook an ultimate when I first started playing this game. And honestly, the whole idea of blind cooking and, like, solo cooking, it kind of came out of just thin air. I started playing Final Fantasy in August 2023. And obviously I knew going into this game, being a big, like, WoW refugee and all that kind of stuff, and having seen all the other WoW players like Preach and OK Mage and various others come and play this game, I knew that the big idea was do the MSQ blind. So for me, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go in and I'm not going to look at anything. I'm not going to look at any guides. And that's how it started for the MSQ. And then just naturally, because kind of how the stream built, where so many people were just open to helping because of the community of Final Fantasy being so great, it was like I was able to just do so many things blind, dungeons and then some trials, and before we knew it, it was like I was in coils, and it was like, hey, what if we just go in with, like, no guide? Let's treat every piece of content in this game like this. Let's do it all with fresh eyes. So that's what we did. I don't know, part of that was also because of, like, just Russ as well, who's obviously a good friend of mine and another stream buddy, and we started about 2 weeks apart. And me and him kind of had this, like, little, like, kind of like a jokey kind of competition of, like, doing coils and doing raids and stuff, and kind of competing against each other, but not really, just, like, a little bit fun. And then I just continued it on. There was actually Nail, I think it's Nail Vandanis. I think it is Nail. The boss in Coils, T9, if I'm not mistaken. And I actually turned off mine for the last, like, 20% of the boss or 30% of the boss. Because I was like, it's going to take us too long. And I kind of got stressed. I was like, maybe people are going to get bored if it takes us too long. So I turned off mine. And then I didn't live it down. Russ didn't turn off mine for it, and he killed it. And then I got memed on, though, you know. So, yeah, I was like, okay, this isn't ever going to happen ever again. And then, so all my Savage raids, everything since then has been Blind Mine. And then going into an Ultimate, I actually had a YouTube comment, funnily enough, today, the making of this video, where it was like, somebody watched a previous video of mine reacting to the Ultimate weapons, the visuals on them, and me going like, nah, I'm not going to cook an Ultimate Blind. That would be like too much, no way. I'll be honest, when I first started playing this game, I didn't even think that I was going to even do an Ultimate. Not for a long time, anyway. I really wasn't on the agenda. It wasn't on the schedule. And then we were progressing E8. And this would have been about two and a bit months ago. And we were progressing E8, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to make Dawn Trail release. I'm not going to be finished with Endwalker, because I haven't even started it yet. And we still have all of E8 left to do. And it was a bit taxing, I think, doing E8 every single day. And that being like 5 days a week of stream content. And I was like, we need to switch it up. We need to do something a little bit different. And I don't know why in my mind I thought, yeah, let's do an Ultimate. But I just did. And I was like, okay, let's do an Ultimate. Let's do 1 day a week. Because it'll keep it low pressure. And that's what we did. And that's how it started. And we did about 3 or 4 weeks of 1 day a week. And then we'd finished E8. And I was kind of like twiddling my thumbs. I was like, well, may as well do more days if we can. And that was how it begun. The whole cooking process on UWU was very interesting because a lot of people had warned me. They said, this fight is a gimmick. It's so hard to do it without a guide because of the nature of the fight. But if you do it with a guide, it'll immediately unlock the whole of the fight, basically. And I had this in the back of my mind, like, the whole of my prog. And it was really kind of an interesting way to prog, to know that there's, like, not everything is as it seems, but you don't know why. And you know that people are saying about the fight being, like, trivialized, and you know it's one of the earliest ultimates, and I'm going, huh, what does this all mean? What does it all mean, Basil? But getting to a point where I started to understand the awakening, funnily enough, in pull 14, we actually awoke Garuda. In pull 14. But I didn't notice because there's like I'm talking to chat and there's like a voice line and I'm doing my rotation and the... Like, I just didn't notice. It was pull 14, you know? What's constant and what's a variable in that context? It's so hard to see because, like, everything's fresh, you know? So, that was funny. It wasn't until we were on Ifrit. I actually awoke Ifrit first, purposefully. I actually noticed the stacks on Ifrit sooner. But boy, was that difficult to notice. And then eventually I did. Eventually I did notice and I went, hold on a minute, there's something to this. And then we went back and did Garuda. And then I went, wait, there's a clip of me going, wait, she has it too? And that was really funny, obviously, for everyone. The best part about all of this, by the way, with the prog, is that we actually have in my Discord a spoiler channel where everyone can go and talk about everything spoiler-free. But obviously they don't type it in my Twitch chat. But it's a way for everyone to kind of, like, gang up together and, you know, make their jokes or whatever and have fun and be like, oh, he's never gonna get this, and doom and coom and gloom. Yeah, like, that's kind of a spot that we have, which is really cool. So, it took a little while with the Awakening. It took like 200 pulls, maybe 150, somewhere in that region, to figure out that you can awaken these bosses. Now, I knew how to awaken Ifrit. Well, no, sorry. Ifrit actually took a little bit with, like, the nails. First, I was like, oh, we don't kill them. No, we have to kill them. We have to kill them, but we have to put the eruption on them. So that took a little bit of time, like, figuring out that for some reason. Garuda was pretty obvious, because I was like, oh, we have these wind stacks, and they persist through death, and we just hanging on to them, and the shield... Because the whole time we were progressing Garuda, we got to a point where we were getting these wind stacks, we were getting these frictions, but we weren't clearing. I was like, what if we just don't clear these stacks? Why bother? It doesn't seem to do anything. We can still prog past Garuda. We can still prog past Ifrit. What's the point? And this is where the gimmick comes in. It's such an interesting fight. It's such an interesting fight. And upon reflection, I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, this is so peculiar. So, I knew something was wrong in Garuda because we were ignoring the shield. And I was like, it's gotta be for something. But again, with this fight, the way it works is that you get... And this is how my brain works, actually, is you get all of the information to understand some of the information, if that makes sense. In other fights, you can piece things together by having a little bit of the info, and you go, oh, I think we're going to go down this route, you know? If we have something like Hello World or something, where it's like, okay, well, I have all these debuffs, there's going to be some kind of debuff, like, execution, right? Like, we have to prioritize what's going to occur first, and you piece it together, or suppression, actually. Even within this fight, look at suppression. You have fixed aspects of the fight, certain amount of eruptions, certain amount of Mistral Songs, certain amount of jails, certain amount of laser beams. There has to be a correct solution. Look at how it gets applied. Is it getting applied to only tanks and healers, or all DPS, or a mix, or only healers? Like, you know, like what are these variables that are occurring? And then you piece it together from that. But in this fight, overall, it's like you need to know everything. You need to know Doom. You need to get to Doom and see, something we can't get past this. Okay, something's not right here. Okay, we got to go back. Because the fight lets you prog beyond each boss up until a point. So it's very deceptive. And that was very hard, I think, mentally. Like, progging fights, but knowing that it wasn't correct and knowing that we were going to have to come back. We had to go back to Garuda, like, 7 times, maybe more, maybe double-digit times we had to go back to Garuda and change things and do things differently. So, quite cool. I did like that kind of component of the fight. It was quite nice. But yeah, very taxing. And eventually, when we managed to cook Garuda, cook Ifrit, cook the dashes, Titan was rough with the jails, and let's be real, the whole prog is just jail prog. This was jails was the only mechanic, I feel, that I categorically did not like. I thought it was a very finicky mechanic, but not in like a fun way to execute. Like suppression feels fun to execute. Predation feels fun to execute, right? Like you have this rhythm, and you get into the position, and you know what to look for, boom, you execute. Jail was like, let's just hope people can do addition and subtraction really quick right now. And then that was it. But the precision needed was like, you had to be, you know, on a dime to get it right. And so I just didn't really like Jail. I think if they'd given you an extra, even just 1 second to get into position, or if as you're getting knocked back, they applied the Jail debuff then. Like as you're getting knocked back, I would have been happy with either of those as like a little bit more of a consistent feature. But some people are going to say, you know, Jails is a great mechanic. I think anyone who thinks it's a great mechanic is entitled to their opinion. So, you know, that's fine. I'm not going to judge you for it. But yeah, so once we got past Titan, like Titan was actually the part of the fight, once we were getting into Ultima consistently, Titan was the only part of the fight where I actually started to like enjoy myself weirdly. But like that, I think it's part of, you just know that you're deeper into the fight, the mechanics were a bit better. Because on Ifrit and Garuda, I didn't really have any responsibility. I dealt with frictions, and Ifrit, I just had to be careful with nails, but that was it. Whereas Titan was a bit more like, I had something to do with jails and baiting landslides and stuff like that. And it just felt like the fight picked up a little bit. The pace was just a little bit higher. So it was fun. And then we got to Doom. Now, Doom only took me 2 pulls of getting there with the actual all 3 Awakened buff and all 3, like, LB abilities. Doom, we only had to get there twice, so we had to figure out what the solution was. So I was happy with that. It kind of just made sense. Because up until that point, I kind of could think ahead, and I was like, well, we're going to get these. Like, once I understood Awakening of Ifrit, and once I eventually understood that the LB gets recharged, which had to get a little bit pointed out to me a little bit, not too much, but, like, people, you know, like, hey, you know, maybe maybe, like, the things people say is maybe you haven't cooked everything on this boss, and I'd be like, okay, right, cool. And then I'd start paying attention to things. Notice the flash of light. I was like, oh, what's this flash of light about? Yada yada. Notice the LB3. And then I was like, oh, wait, it recharges. Whoa, okay. So at one point I was like, right, so we're going to get these free LB3s. That's what this Awaken debuff does. And I was like, well, we can use them on Titan. I was like, but that doesn't really make any sense. Because why would you use 3 LBs on Titan? Or 4 LBs on Titan? When you don't need the damage on you're having to hold damage on Garuda. You have to hold damage on Ifrit, more or less. And then... Okay, you don't quite hold on Ifrit, but you know what I mean? Like, you're pushing him with ease. So why would they give you these LBs just to use willy-nilly on bosses that you don't need to use them on? And it kind of desynced, right? Like, you only get the LB after you've killed the first boss, so then why would you have these subsequent LBs? It just didn't really all add up. But then I was thinking, like, well, we can't progress past Doom. There's got to be something for progressing past Doom. And I was like, what if all the bosses need to be awakened? Okay. Oh, that still didn't work. What if the bosses need to be awakened and we need to use our LBs? Nah, it doesn't quite make sense. Okay. Well, I know for a fact that we have to use a ranged LB on these ads. And then the boss casts Doom. And then I got to my notepad and I was like, well, how does Doom work in the rest of the game? It's either dispellable, you stand on a platform to cleanse it, or you heal through it. And I was like, okay, well, there's no platform to stand on. There's no... it's not dispellable. It's got to be a heal through it. And I was like, okay, well, it's not heal through it traditional. What if it's a heal LB? Like, what if... Because I looked at the timing. I was like, how long does it take to cast an LB heal? And then how long do we have from when we unfreeze? And you have like 3 seconds or something. And the math just worked out where you could fit an LB3 heal within that window. And I was like, what if we do that? What if it's kind of like an ultra heal? Where it's kind of like a dispel, it's kind of like a res, it's kind of a full health heal, it's everything all in one. What if it's like that? And then that worked, and then it was like, oh my god. And then the melee one just made sense, because obviously, like, you're not going to tank LB3 that. It just made sense to kill him. So I figured it out like very quickly. It was like 2 pulls, and I was like, yes, this has to make the most sense. And it was awesome actually to do that. And now that I look back on it, so funny with solo cooking, because when you're in it, you don't really look at it and appreciate that you've actually solved something until you get past it consistently, and then you go, oh, actually, that's not a problem anymore. We have I have actually cooked this. We have actually progged this, and that's kind of what happened. So it was really awesome. And I think, honestly, at that point, we were something like, I don't know, 300 pulls or something in, let's say, something like that, three whatever, pulls in, and we were getting past Doom, and it was like, right, well, honestly, I don't care about even just watching a guide for the rest of the fight now. Like, I didn't, but I was like, I wouldn't even be bothered. If this is just as much as I've cooked, I can walk away pretty happy with this. And then Ultima started kicking my ass, and I started getting angry, and I was like, no, this little sausage is going down. Like, this guy's dead. So I started getting angry at the mechanics. Annihilation, predation, suppression mostly. Etheric boom, hilarious. But this is another thing. I love the blind cook because, like, I know all the ability names. I know what all the abilities do. Like, it's so fun looking at it from this perspective. I remember going back and looking at it, like, playing WoW. I don't know boss abilities, and I don't know what the healers are doing, and I know what I'm doing, and that's it. And so it's been really fun, like, learning and improving as a player. Even the other night, I did some raid testing this weekend for World of Warcraft. We tested 7 bosses on normal for the new upcoming expansion, the new raid. Which I know for some of you Final Fantasy players, that's going to blow your mind. Just in what? You've already seen the bosses? What? Yes, I've killed 7 of 8 bosses already of the new WoW expansion. So that's kind of, that's funny. And I've got a raid leader, and I'm one of the newest members of the team. I've not progged with this team yet, playing with a full guild of like Aussies and Kiwis. And I was like offering in solutions and say like, hey, like I bet we could probably do this. I bet there's probably a weak order for that. We'll probably assign it like this way. Like I was weighing in on multiple bosses where I was thinking, could we actually do this more efficiently here? Because of the experience I picked up in Final Fantasy now, I'm actually just seeing like a couple steps ahead. And it's made me so much more of an advanced player now. Yes, okay, I don't do the perfect monk rotation. Yes, I got a green percentile on my first kill. But I just feel like as a player in both games, I've just improved tremendously. So yeah, I'm hoping to actually get some casting gigs when it comes to Final Fantasy going forward for Savage and Ultimate, because I feel like I can bring such a unique perspective, not only because I've got World of Warcraft like casting experience, like I've done the last like 5 Race to World First in World of Warcraft, last like 5 years, sorry, of World of Warcraft. I've also been a high-level WoW player, not in raiding per se, but okay. And then coming into Final Fantasy and solo cooking blind, all of this content, including an Ultimate, which no one does. And I guess in a way, like, to toot my own horn a little bit, I'm gonna feel good, and I'm gonna say this is kind of like history in the making here. Nobody else does this apart from, you know, there are teams that go in blind and they cook together as a team, but like to do it all solo is quite remarkable, and I'm like really happy and stoked, and hopefully I could bring a unique perspective to like casting Final Fantasy, because I could apparently as well, what my team tells me is whenever I cook a mechanic, literally the first solution, Hello World, apparently I cooked like immediately, but then gaslit myself into thinking I was wrong. Same with Icelit. Same with Light Rampant. Same with some other mechanics. Apparently, like, several mechanics in Ultima, in UWU, I cooked, and then I just went, nah, that's not gonna work. And then just forget about it, and then go around in circles for 5 hours, and then come back to it and go, oh, wait, yeah, maybe this works. So, I have like, it would be cool to be on the desk and maybe kind of predict how mechanics might want to be solved and stuff, and weigh in some of my experience of having played this game in this unique way. It's been really, really awesome. UWU did almost break me, though. UWU for sure did almost break me. Just because Dawn Trail release was on the horizon, no pun intended there. The team was starting to get a little bit fractured in ways, like stressed a little bit. I was starting to get a little bit just like frustrated with my cooking and stuff like that. And then and it was fine. And then I'd cook something and I'd be like, okay, let's test this. And then we'd wipe in jails to jails like 5 times in a row. And then we'd die on Garuda 3 times. And then we'd call it for the day. We'd be like, nope, we've just lost it for the day. And to be fair to the raiders, they're raiding at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., like crazy hours. But it was like so sort of demoralizing when you're getting to a point where you're like, okay, I can't even help with my cook right now. We just need to execute. And there was like, it's just kind of sitting and waiting. But that's how prog goes. That's how prog goes. And yeah, this was really, really awesome. A really fun experience. I don't know that I'll do it again. Let me know in the comments if you love this stuff and you want to see me do another Ultimate blind. I'd be open to it, especially in the new Ultimate that's coming out. I'd be open to that if I don't, you know, do any casting or anything for it. But let me know if you want to see this stuff in future. At the end of the day, everybody loves seeing somebody suffering and in pain. So if you guys want to see me suffer and be in pain, let me know. Upcoming on the channel, on twitch.tv/Psybearslat_TV, and YouTube, I stream on both at the same time, multi-stream. Upcoming is the final tier of Eden, Savage, and Normal. I haven't even done it on Normal yet, so boss E9 to E12. We've got 2 more tiers of the Alliance raid of Shadowbringers, of the Nia raid, and then we have all of the extremes, which we're going to be starting on stream this week. The first week of July, 2023. 2024. What? So, yeah, that's kind of the situation. That's what we got upcoming. Remember to follow and like this channel as well. And then I just wanted to say thanks not only to you guys watching the weekly recaps, watching this video now, hanging out in chat, hanging out in the spoiler channel, propelling me forward, supporting me, giving me subs, you know, hyping me up for the kills and stuff, and keeping me going. I want to say thank you to the raiders. Without them, none of this would be possible. To sacrifice their time and their sanity for me, I am eternally grateful. I am the Toy Story alien. I am eternally grateful. And lastly, I just want to say thank you to people like Todd and Zeems and all the others that have kind of like come into the channel whilst I've been progging, EA and UWU, and just been around, you know, just been around. I think Zeems actually even mentioned on his stream, said about how he'd been enjoying watching my, watching my prog of EA, I think it was. And that got clipped to me and sent to me, and like that's just really nice. I feel included in the Final Fantasy community, especially that high-end community, the raiders and stuff like that. So I feel really appreciative. I feel like kind of like visible there, feel seen there. So it feels really good. And hey, if anybody out there wants to do any like podcasting, and interviewing on my experiences, I'd be open to hearing some questions and answering them for you. But yeah, thanks so much, chat. Remember to follow and like. Let me know if you want to see more of this content in future. I love you. Thanks for watching. Mwah. Goodbye.
A little early.
Moving, and then back to C, and then back to A, and then kill the boss. Nah, I mean... LB2? LB2? Wait. More? Wait. Bro, he cancelled my LB. He
did it.
Oh, we did.
He's dead.
He's,
no LB, he's dead, homie.
He's no LB needed.
Clean as hell. Good job, everyone.
What a pull. What a pull, dude. Oh, Landu Brave with 10 gifted as well, dude. Are you kidding me? We did it before Dawn Trail. We did. We can drag the boss now. Nah, I'm dead. I'm actually gaming. I saw what I needed to see. How? Because I have eyes. I don't sound American at all.
No, you don't. I say no. That goes through involved.
Oh no. Oh. I might need to repair. Yeah, I cleared UWU blind with the WoW player strat. There you go. Okay, I'm going behind Garuda. See you guys. I'm moving in. No, I almost had it. I almost. Yeah, I love tanks taking risks because then they get everyone else killed because of their death. You know, big skill issue. Yeah.
Skill issue.
I had pancakes today.
Yeah, but can you drop your AoEs in a perfect pancake?
What? I have the gift, man.
I wish Psy was here.
There you go.
Sometimes I can still hear his voice.
Yo.
Red White was so big it hit you in the other room.
Ultimate Tinkle time. I'm gonna become the Tinkle legend, dude. Okay, everyone focus up. If I see a single mistake, this is going on your permanent record. Raiders, you need... What just happened was the most criminal thing I've ever seen. It was so insane that I didn't even react to the fact that we progged. Okay, just watch me. This is... Okay, so I realize now that I have the laser. I'm like, I go north, dodge, green, move, plume, laser, watch out, beam, tuck in, dip, move, uh-oh, another beam, watch out, lasers, plume, another thing, the tether, watch out for that, jump to him, get for the soak.
Chat joke.
He rocks. Oh, man. Alright, Weezer.
Psy?
Yeah. Oh!
Psy? Psy?